If you opened canned tomato soup and it was brown, what would you think? Raise your hand if you would dispose of it. Now, raise your hand if you would continue eating it. Ironically, the only difference between the two soups is the artificial food coloring found in the red tomato soup. So why are we less likely to eat the brown soup regardless of its more natural ingredients?
In front of you are M&Ms. Eat one. Raise your hand if you ate the blue. Raise your hand if you ate the brown. Raise your hand if you ate the yellow, green, red, or orange. Why did you choose that one? Was it because of color, or was it because you associated a certain flavor with it, even though we all know they taste the same? According to Color Trends and Technology newsletter, at a very young age, humans begin to associate certain colors with various types of foods and then link those colors with familiar flavors. If you ate brown M&Ms, you may have picked it because it appears to be more natural since it's the color of chocolate. However, all M&Ms have the same amount of food coloring in it, even the brown ones. On the contrary, if you found yourself drawn to the red M&Ms, it may mean that you have a more bold and passionate personality. You may not realize it, but color plays a big role in our daily decisions. As psychologist R. Douglas Fields, PhD, explained, color preferences are deeply rooted emotional responses that seem to lack any rational basis, yet the powerful influence of color rules out choices in everything. An increase in a variety of color can cause one to have an increase or decrease in their appetite. Nevertheless, intense food coloring may seem attractive to the eye, but some may be turned off by the thought of food or beverages being artificial. About 90% of people base a purchase solely on the color and not actually the quality. Gary Blumenthal from International Food Strategies reports that color and the appeal of various foods is closely related. Just the sight of food fires neurons in the hypothalamus. Subjects presented food to eat in the dark reported a critically missing element for enjoying any cuisine. According to Color Trends and Technology newsletter, humans have certain expectations of the appearance of food. When a food color is different than what we expect, our brain suggests that the taste is different as well. Human taste buds are in close relationship with the appearance of food. Since we look at our food before we eat, our eyes send messages to our brain before our taste buds get a chance to. As a result, predetermination of how we respond to taste and flavor of what we are eating occurs. This tells us that sight plays a big role in the food we eat and how it affects our appetite. In a study published in the Journal of Food Sciences, researchers found that when the color of a drink did not match their expectations, they confused the flavor. For example, a cherry-flavored drink that was colored orange was expected to taste like orange, and a cherry drink colored green was thought to taste like lime.
Go.
In another study published in Fast Food Nation in the early 1970s, lighting was used to manipulate the appearance of food the participants were served. The specific use of light caused subjects to think the food served looked normal, regardless of it being dyed green. Because of its normal appearance, subjects also reported that the food tasted normal. However, once the lights were changed and revealed the true appearance of the food, many participants lost their appetite and some even became ill. So we had a question: what effect does color have on the food we eat? To answer this question, we decided to conduct a random experiment. We lined up 4 different colored cookies consisting of blue, red, green, and white. We surveyed 45 people individually. The first group we surveyed was a class of 30 students. We brought one student out in the hallway, one at a time, and asked them to pick what cookie they wanted. An observation was made that some students took their time to pick a certain color, while others just picked one randomly. We also surveyed school staff, including teachers, janitors, and counselors. They seemed to take more consideration into what color cookie they picked. Our results were actually surprising. We expected the cookies with white frosting to be picked the most. This is because white frosting is the most standard icing color. We predicted the cookies with red frosting would be picked the least because red is often associated with blood, which repulses people. The most frequently picked cookie was the one with the blue frosting by far, with a total of 21 picks. The cookie that was picked the least was the one with red frosting. As you can see right here, we have a bar graph showing our results. The cookie with white frosting was chosen 10 times. The cookie with green frosting was chosen 9 times.
The cookie with blue frosting was chosen 21 times, and the cookie with red frosting was chosen 6 times.
So you're probably wondering why blue was picked the most. We did some research and found that colors have an effect on our emotions. For instance, blue has a more positive effect on people and is also known as a common color and to be our school color. Therefore, people may have thought of the ocean or been drawn to blue due to Ragzo bias when deciding what colored cookie to pick. On the other hand, red is seen as a more negative or alarming color, and they may have associated it with blood. So why do we view colors this way? Evolutionarily, humans are prone to stay away from foods that resemble bodily fluids that may be potentially harmful, such as blood. Over time, humans have learned to stay away from toxic objects. In 2010, an article was published by psychologists from Berkeley in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. This article discusses the theory that humans have adapted to be drawn to specific colors. In other words, people are more likely to successfully reproduce if they are attracted to certain colors rather than others. Certain studies have shown that certain colored foods can excite your appetite, while others can diminish your appetite very quickly. In our survey, white was the second most frequently picked color. White is known to be pure and clean. Therefore, people may have an inclination towards choosing a white cookie. Also, white seems trustworthy and more natural. The second to last colored cookie chosen was green. People may have associated the color green with snot. This relates back to what we said earlier about humans over time staying away from colors associated to bodily fluids. Because snot could potentially spread illness, humans have adapted to stay away from colors or objects that resemble snot. In conclusion, we found that color does play a role in what we eat. One may not realize that they are subconsciously picking things based on color. Gray pizza or pink mac and cheese, anyone?